The latest play-along pack on D&D Beyond is Lord Soth of Sithicus. And if you're a new DM, this is a pretty good example of how to run a big villain without it turning into a simple hack and slash. When you read it you think, okay, they go to a keep and fight a death knight, that's probably it. But there's more to it than that. The setup is simple. Lord Soth has kidnapped somebody important to the party and taken them to Netherguard Keep. The adventure suggests using Lavender from the actual play, the Goblin Child from the earlier Ravenloft play-along pack encounter, which is smart because it gets the players emotionally invested. So the first thing I say to new DMs is not to rush getting to the keep. Ravenloft works better when the atmosphere builds slowly. The approach to Netherguard Keep should feel uncomfortable before the players actually enter the castle. You've got dead trees, cold wind, silence. Maybe there's no birds around the fortress. Little details just add to that feeling of discontent, I suppose. Then the players reach the gatehouse. And this is where something interesting happens. The helmed horrors guarding the gates don't attack the party. They simply move to the side and allow passage. That's surprising and that's important. For new DMs, moments like that are what make the villain memorable. Lord Soth already knows the party is coming. He is not hiding and he is definitely not afraid. The players are walking into his domain exactly as intended, and that changes how you roleplay the keep. You don't run it like a military fortress with guards shouting alarms. Run it like a haunted tomb, empty, cold and silent. Again, that keeps becoming a theme in Ravenloft. Eventually you'll get to Soth's throne room, and then you describe the scene carefully. Lord Soth sits motionless on his throne. 3 banshees chained behind him, singing softly about his crimes. Dust hanging in the air maybe, it's thick. Maybe candlelight flickering across old armour and ruined banners. And the adventure gives you really good details that newer DMs should pay attention to. Soth offers the PCs a bargain. Defeat him honourably and the captive goes free. If they lose, their lives are forfeit. And Soth means it. That's a key point. That's why he's interesting. He still sees himself as a knight with rules and honour, even though he's become a cursed horror himself. So when you roleplay him, you keep him calm and controlled. He doesn't rant or scream, he sounds completely confident. The banshees are also not just background. The players could free them and convince them to turn against Soth. This is a good lesson in encounter design. The fight is not just about damage. The story elements affect the mechanics directly. One banshee can repeatedly heal allies. Another forces him to confront his past crimes, weakening him both physically and mentally. That means observant players get rewarded for interacting with the story instead of simply rushing in. So if your players do free the banshees, lean into the roleplay. These spirits have suffered for years behind Soth's throne. They should feel tragic and emotional rather than friendly NPC joins the combat. And as combat progresses, candles can extinguish. Ghostly whispers echo through the halls. Cracks spread across the stone walls. The Banshee's songs become more loud and more desperate. This helps you just make it a little bit more cinematic. And Soth does not necessarily fight to the death. If reduced to low hit points, he can surrender. He honours his word by releasing the prisoner. That tells you a lot about his character. He's not a mindless undead monster. He's a fallen knight, trapped by his own sense of honour and guilt. Classic Ravenloft. Horror villains become memorable when they're characters first and monsters second. So if you run this encounter, focus on the mood. Let the players absorb the atmosphere of the keep. Soth speaks calmly and the banshees are tragic. And then you're building up on Fight Death Knight in Castle. Let me know how it goes and I'll see you next session.